Hello and welcome to the Online Trainers Podcast, where we go behind the scenes to uncover the latest tactics and strategies top trainers around the world are using to get more clients, dominate their marketplace, and get their clients amazing results. There is absolutely no fluff here. I'm your host, Lynn Trim. Hello and welcome to episode number 38 on the Online Trainers Podcast. Today's topic is, are you finishing 2016 strong? Now, this topic came up because as I'm heading over to LA next Monday, I'm flying over to LA and I'm heading to Boise just to catch up with my inner circle group, a part of Russell Brunson's group, which is fantastic. I've never been to Idaho, Boise. I hear it's the land of potatoes, but I was looking at my calendar and I realized, hey, we've only got about 10 weeks left until the end of the year. It's kind of scary. And I thought, holy crap, that's only 10 weeks. I'm not going to hit all my deadlines, my targets. I'm still a bit of away from all the goals I set since, I set monthly goals. And for the past 2 months, I really hadn't set any goals because I was taking action. I was constantly doing. And so I fell into a bit of a frenzy state. I was fearful. And I was thinking, there's only 10 weeks left. I'm not going to make it, right? And that fear was quickly snapped out of. And I wrote an email about it. And I said, look, after my long black, I had a nice long black. And I sat down and I thought, holy moly, what have I done in 10 weeks before that's been astronomical? And how can I bring that back and do that today? And I thought, I got ready. Back in 2012, 2011, I got ready for a bodybuilding show in 10 weeks. I went from fat to abs, but not quite abs, right? But I'll save that for another day. But really, I went from fat to lean in 10 weeks. I recently launched a summit in less than 10 weeks, gathered 44 speakers around the world, did something global, turned over 6 figures for that. Inside the gym, these are kind of some of the big accolades that I've done. Inside the gym, I launched this hybrid program, right? This workshop program, this 12-week transformation program from scratch. And in 8 weeks, we did 60K. So when I thought back to that, I thought, I've got 10 weeks. My mindset shifted and I was like, I can crush this 10 weeks. I'm going to make 2016 my bitch, right? I'm going to absolutely crush this. And so I really want to do a podcast on this because I know a lot of you out there, and if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably thinking, Lynn, there's 10 weeks left. Everyone's going to go on holidays. December 25th is Christmas. And then, I can't launch my program. And if you have that mindset, and I'm going to tell you right now, if you have that mindset of going in and saying, there's only 10 weeks left and there's 8 weeks till Christmas, I'm going to go in, and trainers like me are going to go in and take and soak up all your clients, right? Because that's how the majority are thinking. The mediocre trainers are going, I'm going to wind down. I'm going to chill out. I'm going to just rest up. And it is in this moment where you become great and you step up and you take the challenge. You go, okay, in the next 10 weeks, these are my goals. These are my goals. I read this brilliant book called The 12-Week Year, which, if you're reading this or you're listening to this, I put together a 12-week template, and I want to give that to you because, he basically tells you how to get more done in 12 weeks than others do in 1 year. He condenses a full year into 12 weeks. He sets you up with goals. And I've put together the template. So if you ask a question inside the Online Trainers Club and just say, Lynn, I've listened to the podcast. Can you send me that template? I'll put it up for you. But I'm going to go back to that template because I used it and it was so effective, and I got back to my weight loss goal. I think I said it in June, and I set a revenue target for myself, right? I said, I want to go back and lose 10 kilos in 12 weeks. I set one for relationships, set one for business, I set one for my body. And I kept accountable every single week, and I was able to hit those goals, and that was tremendous because I'd never done all three. I'd focus on one, and as soon as I focused on getting in shape, when I used to be the worst bodybuilder of all time, the most amateur, I got myself into shape, but I was dead broke and I was empty inside. I wasn't fulfilled, right? Spiritually, personal development wise, I was empty. In terms of business, my business thrived, and if you probably didn't notice, at the start of the year, if you've known me for a while, I put on probably 10 kilos. And that was 2015 to 16, that transition. And then I thought, hold on a second. I'm kind of moving out of all these circles. I'm either going one extreme or the other. And I set myself a goal, which I need to celebrate more, but I reach them. And that was a 12-week goal to kind of go, okay, well, I'm going to focus on my body. These are the things I need to do to lose 10 kilos. And as a personal trainer, that's super easy. You're probably thinking, well, then it's not a big, I can do that in my sleep. And I thought that as well. I could do that in my sleep. But then now combined with a revenue target, 500K or whatever I set for that 12-week goal, I combined that. And then I combined also personal development and relationships. How do I have a great time with my partner? And so these are the things that I'm kind of taking on, because I know that, okay, cool, I can hustle and create the money, but my health, my mindset, I just feel horrible. Like I feel as though I'm focusing on numbers. We can get the body, but as we said, like most fitness professionals who have a great body focus so much on that they lose sight of their business, they lose sight of their impact and the relationship. They get so consumed in themselves. So really my journey has been finding this balance. It's finding, okay, how can I have, my relationship, personal development area, my business growth, my body, all in good health, nothing extreme, but all being super, super prosperous, right? All reaching a level that I would have thought was impossible. And when I look back and I was scared of those 10 weeks, it was because really I sat down and I didn't have a plan. I'd finished the 12-week plan and I'd gone and I kind of knew what I was doing, but nothing was set in concrete. So, my own challenge, and this is my, whatever I come up with and whatever my own journey, I want to be able to share that and give that to you so that you can grow as well. And hopefully you take it on. And if you don't, then feel free to let me know so I can learn from you. We're all students of each other, and what I have, I want to be able to share to help you grow. And I'm sure whatever you have, contribute inside the Online Trainers Club, and that will give me knowledge to help expand my mind. But one thing I can tell you right now is people let their gas, or let their foot off the pedal, let their foot off the gas, right, towards the end of the year. And then so they'll reset with January, and you'll see everybody going, I want to make 2017 my bitch. And I'm thinking, what happened to 2016, right? And that was the saying, and I used it a lot myself as well, and I got super pumped for 2016. But now I'm thinking, well, I've got another year. I've got 3/4 of the year left. I've got 10 weeks to make this happen. And so I'm going to put it out to you to go and set up a goal. Okay, set up a revenue goal. Set yourself up with how much money do you want to make in the next 10 weeks, and say, is it going to be $20,000? Is it going to be $10,000? Is it going to be $50,000? Okay, that's the first thing. Set yourself up with a goal and attach this goal to a higher purpose. You need to really go, okay, well, why do I need to make this? Okay, whether it's so that I can buy a car, so that I can open my studio, so that I can finally pay that web developer who's building my app, or whatever your reason is, find some bigger reason so that you can impact more people. You want to make $10,000 by the end of the year, so then you can use that $10,000 to turn it into $100,000 by running Facebook ads, right? Find a bigger vision. It's not about yourself. It's like, okay, cool. I want to find $20,000 so I can go and join. For me personally, my wise, when I have a look at it, I want more freedom in my life. I want to have control of my own life. I don't want to be working for anyone. I want a vehicle so that I can build legacy, and I want to be remembered as somebody. When I die, is anybody going to miss me? This is a scary thought. And if you ask that question, it's a bit sad. Like, if you die, is anyone going to miss you? And, hopefully when I die and people are talking about me at my funeral, I'd like them to say some fantastic things, right? And so this is what I'm thinking. I want to make this money or this goal because I want to give back to people. I enjoy seeing people have that same level of success, that freedom that I've been able to find, right? Having more money is going to reduce that fear, okay? The fear of not having enough. And I know that when I don't have that fear, I can produce my best work. Okay, like when you have your finances sorted, if you're making $8,000 a month, and you're going to make $8,000 a month, you can go in and go, right, I'm going to rock this. I'm going to create some of it. I'm going to give so much. I'm going to help change people's lives. And so many people fail to find that certainty, so they're like, yeah, right. What I want for you is to go, well, what is this massive goal, and attach a big why? It might be, look, I really want to join Tony Robbins' mastermind, hang out with all these millionaires who run multiple successful businesses but have a fulfilled life. And that was my why, because then if I make this money, I get to hang out with really cool people who aren't trainers, who aren't energy drinkers, who aren't takers. They share and they grow, and I can grow. And so that was really my why as well. But it's going and saying, well, what's your goal over the next 10 weeks? Okay. If it's $20,000, why? Why do you want to make 20K extra? I'm not talking about, 20K in total. Why 20K extra? Why is it so important to you? Okay. The second thing is how. Okay. What are you going to do, and how are you going to do it? Okay. So one of the things, especially if you've been listening to this podcast, I said, go and create a program. It's a transformation program. Sell it for 500, start at 400, depending on if you've ever done it before. If you don't believe in yourself, if you've never launched this, sell it for 300 and get people in and show yourself that you can get people results. Okay, and then up your prices. If you're good, sell it for $1,000. Create this program and build out the framework of it today. What I want for you today is not to go off to this podcast and go, yeah, that was good. I want you to go off and start thinking about, okay, I've got 10 weeks left. How can I build a framework today where I can start going, okay, I don't have to build it out now, but I just know from week 1 to week 12 what this person has to do to get results. Okay? And then what you need to do is find a way to generate leads and make sales. And the biggest lead generator at this very moment in time is challenges and video series because of the engagement that you get. Like I said, if you run a lead magnet, it's an email or it's a PDF, it's going to go into their spam. Chances are, even if they've read it, they've read 100,000 of them, right? So what's going to make you different is that you open up a Facebook group, you get on video, you get their email, you get in front of them because, every opportunity that you have a chance to transform them. And in that transformation, then they feel like they need to reciprocate. Okay, but unless you transform them, unless you get them a result, unless you show why you're the expert authority, no one's going to listen to you. And then once you've made that transformation, whether it's in 5 days, 7 days, 10 days, 14 days, 20 days, right? You'd have to educate them. You have to say, cool, John, you've been through this process, but here's the kicker, John. How many times have you tried to diet before? And John's going to tell you, look, I've tried this 100 times. I've gotten the same results, but I keep yo-yoing, right? And this is what you want to get out of him and say, John, look, the reasons why is that here's what happens, okay? Here's what happens. You haven't built the foundation. Your metabolism is slow. Your hormones are off. Your gut needs fixing. But we're going to sit down and we're going to map out a plan for you because I don't want you to go back to yo-yo again because every time you yo-yo, it takes a toll. You build up more resistance in your mindset, your hormones start to take a bit of a whack, and obviously, you build up all this loose skin and stuff, right? And you hit them hard where their pain is because you don't want them to go back. You need to make it on yourself to educate them enough and get that transition across the line. So essentially, you educate John and you go, John, you've been through this 8-day challenge with me. You've lost, 6 kilos, 12 pounds, 10 pounds, whatever it is. But if you're going to keep that off, you need to jump in and build your foundations. If you want to do it, let's jump on a call. I'll map it out with you. And if we can work together, fantastic. But John, if you go back to your old place and you don't have this blueprint, here's what's going to happen. Okay, you're going to yo-yo again. You're going to store more body fat. Your hormones are going to get whacked out. Your mindset, okay, just what it does to your mind that you don't believe that you can ever lose weight. That's going to stop you from ever losing weight. And so once you have that, then get onto the phone, help John, sell John, and make John see that your program is the solution to his problems. And if you do that, if you run that and you do that consistently, you're going to make the next 10 weeks a very prosperous one. Okay? And I can sit here and I can tell you stuff, but at the end of the day, you need to take action. So the action that I want you to take today is go out, plan out your next 10 weeks, sit down, go send this to a trainer, coach, friend, colleague, whoever it is, send this episode, sit down and say, look, we need to set some time aside today for a bit of coffee because I want to finish 2016 and I still want to make it my bitch. Are you in with me? And you brainstorm and you go and find, okay, well, I'm going to create this program. What program are you going to create? And so, you have a look at each other's passion. Maybe you can create the program together, right? How cool would that be? So essentially, I've given you the frameworks, but what you need to do is you need to go out and go, okay, I need an accountability buddy because, if you don't believe in yourself, you don't have that enough belief, go and team up with a personal trainer, friend, a colleague, coach, who would help you bounce ideas with and you could do it together. Okay, that's the first thing. If you're fearing being by yourself and you haven't overcome that fear, go and find someone else because you're a lot stronger with 2 people. The second thing is go and develop your 12-week or 10-week plan until the end of the year. Okay, figure out how much you want to make and why, because it's not compelling. If it's like, well, if you enjoy everything at the moment, there's no reason for you to take action. But if you want to go invest, if you want to go on holidays, if you want to go and buy that car, if you want to go and, spend a year with Tony Robbins and all these guys, then you have to have a compelling reason. The third thing is, what are you going to do? Like I said, create a flagship program. Go and create a course that you can help somebody transform from point A to point B, okay? Then run some sort of a lead magnet challenge video series that's gonna build engagement, okay? Because here's the thing, if somebody downloads your lead magnet and they don't get the results, do you think they're gonna jump onto a call with you? That's a pretty obvious answer, right? It's no, because they didn't see value in your challenge. Why should they listen to you? You're no expert. You haven't built trust. You haven't built the need for the reciprocation, okay? And then go and make it happen. So really excited for you, but really pumped myself, because right now I'm going to go sit down and figure out my 10-week plan. I'm going to map everything out, and I'm going to go, look, I'm just going to focus on the one thing until it happens. I'm not going to dabble, I'm not going to go anywhere else, but that's what I want for you as well. So go and do this. And that's the thing, the power of networking and using your friends. Send this podcast to a trainer, go listen to this, and let's do something together. All right. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you on the next podcast episode. And if you're in LA by any chance, next Monday, I think the 31st of October, feel free to message me. We can hang and we can chill out, do some, cool stuff. All right. If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave me a 5-star review on iTunes, and feel free to leave a review. And that way I can respond and I can take that on board in developing content to serve you. Now, if you're not a part of the Online Trainers Club on Facebook, please do yourself a favor and be a part of the conversation. That's where I add daily tips, tricks, and strategies on how you can build out funnels, how you can get more clients, and ultimately become a better online coach. Thank you for listening.